Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each week to bring you tasteful content,
but viewer discretion is advised.
Now enjoy the show.
We're headed up to the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington to help you get ready for the DSN Outdoors Expo coming up next weekend.
We'll take a quick break as Scorchy Talls takes us to Seaford to meet a family with a unique adoption story.
And we'll swing back up to Harrington to wrap up our preview of the DSN Outdoors Expo.
Outdoors Delmarva starts right now.
Welcome to Outdoors Delmarva, the show that celebrates our communities, our cultures and traditions, and the places we call home. My name is Jason Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch. And Jason, I see that you survived birthday week. Any new aches, pains, anything else that comes along when you're 65?
The only new ache or pain that I've developed has probably come within the last year, say around May 6th.
Wait, that's when I joined the team.
I'm sure that's completely coincidental.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here are Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
We are here at the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington.
And it might look a little empty right now, but on the 19th and 20th, it'll look something like this.
We're certainly hoping for a great weather weekend like we had last year, because despite the comfort and convenience of the Dover Building and the Kent Pavilion, some of the coolest stuff at the DSN Outdoors Expo is, well, outside, like the classic car show from All Wheels Car Club, and I got a chance to catch up with my old friend Hank Schroding last year.
Hank, you're here with all the great cars, man. That looks good.
Absolutely. Having a great day out here. Got a lot of people out walking around, talking with a lot of people. Beautiful day.
And I would imagine, just like all the rest of us, that car owners like this are probably battling the pollen just like the rest of us.
Yeah, this is a bad time right now, is the pollen, but yes.
All right, so as much as you want to make sure that your car is ready to go, sometimes, a wash and wax between now and then is going to have to happen at least a couple of times.
I would am sure it will have to happen.
While enjoying all of the great vendors and various activities of the expo, you might find yourself needing a recharge. And the variety of food trucks will have you topped off and ready to keep exploring. From burgers, fries, barbecue, subs, wings, cheesesteaks, and just about everything in between, the expo will have your cravings curbed.
A great aspect to the DSN Outdoors Expo is the ability to see real Delmarva artistry at work. Last year, our friend Josh Miller of Arkansas put on an amazing chainsaw carving demonstration that had us all proudly sporting what Josh refers to as man glitter. And we can't wait to see Jesse Baird from Piney Neck Game Calls this year give us a great live demonstration of what goes into making a great turkey call.
Coming up after the break, we'll sit down with DSN Sports Director Kayla Santiago to talk about some wrestling that you're going to see at this year's Expo.
The DSN Outdoors Expo preview show continues when Outdoors Delmarva returns.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
One of the things that makes the DSN Outdoors Expo so unique is the integration of live professional wrestling.
And Jason got to sit down with DSN's Kayla Santiago to talk about all things 1CW.
Something that's very unique to the DSN Outdoors Expo is live professional wrestling. And Kayla, you've got the inside track on 1CW.
It's a whole ton of fun. So last year was an absolute blast, and it's really cool to kind of see the people that are able to come over to it, because you have all these outstanding things, the DSN Outdoors Expo, but when everybody's able to come to the wrestling, everybody's able to cheer everybody on, it's so much fun. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't really know the wrestlers. Now there are some local wrestlers, but some of them aren't, but they're so entertaining. They go up to the crowd, they ask the crowd to do a lot of things with them as part of their skit as well. So they're able to get everybody really involved, and definitely you want to be out there to see it, because every single year it's something new. They have a whole ton of fun, and they really know how to get the crowd in. And hey, it's sports, it's wrestling, so it's able to have a little bit of the acting side, the sports side, everything in between all combined in one.
Yeah, it certainly is interactive, as we saw last year, and we're watching some clips of last year's action. Kind of give us your recollection of what we saw last year and kind of what we can expect this year.
Yeah, definitely. So they actually got some people from DSN involved. So they had somebody hold a guy back and then basically slap his back at that. Now it sounds a little bit brutal and be like, oh, do I want to see that? No, it's a whole ton of fun, because they'll go up to the crowd and say, do this, do that, or accidentally trip somebody, but you know, nothing malicious or anything like that. It's just a whole ton of fun. So when you go out there and you're able to watch it, I think that's the best part of it, because you know, there's parents there, there's kids there, there's a lot of different people from really everywhere that are going to this event. So when you have wrestlers that, you know, are doing their thing, they're fighting, they're wrestling, but they're also getting the audience involved. They feel like they're a part of the whole entire thing. So last year it was really fun to watch, and then for us, when we, you know, broadcast wrestling, when we broadcast MMA, they also know how to fight too. They also know what they're doing, and I honestly think sometimes it can be even harder, because you have to know what you're doing, but then also know how to properly avoid a punch or to avoid a slam down, because it's really, a lot of it is acting. So when you see it, you see just how technical these guys are and what they're able to do, guys and ladies as well, and they absolutely love it. And I think the best part about it, as we alluded to, is just getting the fans, getting the audience involved, really being able to have people feel like, you know, they're important, they're meant to be there, and that's the one part I love about it.
What would you say is really the impact culturally and geographically to this region to have a professional wrestling company like 1CW kind of based in this area?
I think it's so huge, because I think a lot of people, you know, who want to maybe get into this sport but say, I don't really like the combat, the competition, you know, having to get punched in the face or wrestled to the ground for real in real time, but maybe this is something that I'm really interested in. So I think this is a perfect opportunity, and the community of them, they're all awesome. I mean, we were able to see last year, they would go and fight, they would do their skit, they would fake lose, you know, they would fake get super angry, and then, you know, afterwards they'd be asking how everybody's doing, they're giving the kids high fives. So the community is just really there, and that's what the best thing is to see, because this is such a sport where they're not just doing it for themselves. It's acting, they're getting people involved, they're trying to do it for everybody else, and everybody feels so important and really as one. So I think having this on Delmarva, we're able to have it on DSN, but being able to see it in real time is super, super special. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that aspect of it, because they do it for a living, they do it for a career, and they want to do it for people like this. So definitely need to come out so we can give them what they've all been waiting for. And I know they're super excited to get ready for it.
Yeah, so again, it's not just the fact that we're going to have professional wrestling at the Outdoor Expo. It's going to be outdoors, and you don't get a chance to see that very often, and you're going to be able to see it live in person at the 2024 DSN Outdoors Expo, coming back to the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington. Kayla Santiago from Delmarva Sports Network, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
My thanks to Kayla Santiago for taking some time to chat with me. You'll see her and the rest of the DSN team at the Expo on Saturday, so make sure you stop by and say hi.
Before we wrap up our DSN Outdoor Expo preview special, we head to Seaford to meet a special family with a unique family member.
Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. We'll be right back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Nature is amazing and as unpredictable as life itself.
And as we see in this week's Remembering Scorchy Taws, a Seaford family gets up close and personal with that unpredictability.
Honoring the life and legacy of Scorchy Taws, thanks to Shorts Marine in Long Neck, Delaware. Shorts Marine, everything but the water.
Bambi grew up and lives with Dennis and Linda Corcoran at their rural Seaford, Delaware home. He was not picked up in the woods. Last July, as a tiny fawn, he wandered out of the woods Corcoran property.
We saw a doe with 2 fawns, and I'm just guessing, but I suppose possibly that the doe had 3, and it had abandoned the weakest one. And I just had to take him in and raise him.
Although free to come and go, and he does wander in a 3 or 4 mile radius, Bambi chooses mostly to stay. He considers himself one of the Corcoran family. He still enjoys being babied, looks forward to an occasional treat, socializes with the family pets, and loves to play with a paper bag. But realistically, Bambi is a wild animal, and keeping a growing deer under control has become a source of concern to the Corcorans.
I love him to death, but he's getting kind of rough. He plays with the kids, and he's getting more weight all the time, and I'm afraid he's going to hurt somebody.
The dilemma does not end there. Because he has no fear, Bambi wanders freely onto other people's property and partakes of their flowers and bushes.
He won't go back in the wild like I had hoped he would, and we got quite a problem now.
The Corcorans have but 2 options, allowing Bambi to remain free and face certain death, or fencing him in. With the help of a neighbor who has volunteered to fence in several acres of land, the Corcorans have chosen captivity, a choice they consider the lesser of 2 evils for an animal they love. Linda Corcoran has some words of advice for anyone who happens upon a fawn in the wild.
But don't touch them. He's as disabled as if he were hurt badly.
There's a lesson to be learned from Bambi. You'll do a fawn an awful disservice if you find it in the woods and bring it home. This deer now cannot ever return to the wild. He's just like a human.
Remembering Scorchy Taws is presented by Shorts Marine, online at shortsmarine.com.
Did you know that mourning doves tend to feed on the ground, swallowing seeds and storing them in a part of the esophagus called the crop?
Did you know that mourning doves eat roughly 12 to 20% of their body weight per day?
And did you know that despite being the most hunted game bird in the U.S., to the tune of nearly 20 million harvested each year, the mourning dove is the most abundant game bird in the country with an estimated population of 350 million?
Now you do.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back. You're watching Outdoors Delmarva presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This is the DSN Outdoors Expo preview special, and we've shown you some of the things that you can expect to see and to do.
And to eat.
Yes, and to eat at this year's Expo.
But there's plenty more to the Expo just inside the doors of the Dover building.
There's no shortage of vendors at the DSN Outdoors Expo, as the Dover building is full of Delmarva companies that want to make your outdoor life just a little better. And one of those companies is a title sponsor of the Expo, Spicer Brothers Construction. And Jason got a chance to sit down with Brianna Spicer last year.
All right, Brianna, DSN Outdoors Expo seems to be a big success.
It is. We've got a lot of people coming through. It's a great day for it.
Yeah, and they have gotten all of your swag.
They have. We've ran out of our yellow bags already. Thought we brought enough. I guess not.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
It is. It is. We've got a lot of people out here looking to get some outdoor stuff. They're really excited. Great vendors.
Yeah, a lot of great vendors today, and a lot of folks don't realize that, you know, your outdoors starts as soon as you walk outside that front door.
It does. The exterior of your home, that's outdoors. We do it all.
One of the companies that we see at a lot of the events we attend is Atlantic Tactical Firearms Trainers, and they will be back again this year. Tim Otwell took a few minutes to tell me what we can expect to see from them at this year's Expo.
So when you come by and see our booth, we'll have representatives at our booth that can explain all the things we do at Atlantic Tactical, from basic firearms training all the way up to advanced tactical training. We can cover all the basic needs for how to purchase a firearm in the state of Maryland or the state of Delaware. We can cover all the needs to get your wear and carry permit in those states as well as 9 other states. We can provide training as far as just basically this is how you hold a gun, this is how you clean a gun, this is how you take apart a gun, to again, even advanced tactical training. We have some retired SWAT members on our staff, a lot of retired law enforcement, and even some folks with some very expert legal training with us. So we can teach you anything from the tactical end of it to also the legal end of it. And there's not too many folks around that have a team and a staff like we do here at Atlantic Tactical.
When someone comes by, they're going to be able to get that information directly from your staff. And there's also something that's really cool that you guys like to bring to these events. Talk to us about the virtual trainer.
Yes, so we have what's known as a TI simulator. This simulator is used by most law enforcement agencies to train their officers in order to make a decision on when to use force and not to use force. One of the most important things in particular, if you are concealed carrying, is to understand legally when you can use force to defend yourself. We have a full TI simulator that puts you up in this situation where you have to make the decision and you have to process very quickly whether or not you can legally take action or not, and then decide and do that action. And then we can take a look back and see what you did and figure out, things we can do better and learn from that in an excellent training aspect.
The DSN Outdoors Expo is great for a lot of reasons, but with the best of Delmarva's outdoor living companies coming to you all in one location, it's hard to imagine a better way to spend some time on either your Friday evening or your Saturday. Or better yet, both.
The Expo was such a good time last year that one day wasn't enough, so we doubled up the fun.
And the food.
Yes, and the food in just a few short days.
And I'll do my best to keep my appetite in check during the break, because next we check out your latest photos.
We'll do that when Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, returns.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here are Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
It's time to flip through the photo album and take a look at your latest pictures.
Thanks to our friends at North Bay Marina.
Michael Lewis of Delmar reeled in this catfish from the Wicomico River. Michael said the catfish had perch inside its stomach.
Hannah Lamenza of Seaford sent in this great photo of a rainbow over her hometown.
Michelle McClay of Easton sent us a couple of pics that her bird feeder cam captured. This eastern bluebird wanted to show off its wings, while this brown-headed cowbird didn't look too pleased with its close-up.
Bob McKinley of Ocean Pine saw a face in this cloud formation, and we're pretty sure we see it too.
Marty Weaver of Bridgeville got a great sunset photo overlooking the fountain behind his home. Cool shot, Marty.
We were all ready for the eclipse on Monday, including Jet, who also lives in Bridgeville. Thanks to Katie Bear for the submission.
And we weren't sure we were going to get any eclipse photos, so our thanks to Genevia Bender of Salisbury, Donna Gerald of Seaford, and Courtney Phillips of Laurel for sending these in.
Michael Eager sent us a video of the eclipse from his vantage point in Lewis. Michael said the video was shot on his Sony camera with no special equipment. Simply stunning, Michael.
Ken Fullerton sent us this photo of a great horned owl in the Dorchester County area with a new member of the family.
And Ray Knack of Seaford sent us some breathtaking shots of eagles in flight that he photographed near the Dover area.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Well, that'll just about do it for us this week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Keep sending in those photos. We really enjoy seeing them. And an easy way to submit a photo is by going to outdoorsdelmarva.com and filling out the submission form. Or you can scan the QR code in the bottom corner of your screen.
Be sure to join us right here at the Delaware State Fairgrounds on the 19th and 20th. You can find out more details about the DSN Outdoors Expo by clicking on the banner at outdoorsdelmarva.com or by going to delmarvasportsnetwork.com. But after the Expo, we hope that you'll join us right back here again next week. But between now and then, my name is Jason Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch, and we hope to see you
Outdoors Delmarva.
Outdoors Delmarva, a Draper Media production, is presented by Gateway Subaru, Higher Standards, sponsored by Shorts Marine and Bell Creek Equipment.